Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing great. We are staying at home and keeping ourselves and our nation safe. But staying at home does not mean we don't have to study. So let's start with our first chapter, Computer Concepts. Hope you liked the video and enjoy it. Learning objectives. Today we are going to study about IPO cycle and we are going to gain knowledge about generations of computers. So let's begin. IPO cycle. Input, process, output. That's a very simple cycle and we have studied it in last class as well. Input, the raw data given to a computer. Process, the calculations done by the CPU. Output, that's the result. So basically you are giving inputs to your computer. The computer is processing that input and providing you information as output. Let's see an example. Come on, let's make a banana shake. So for banana shake you will need bananas, sugar and milk. But are they banana shake yet? No. What you have to do is you have to put them in a mixer and blend them. Once you blend them, your banana shake is ready. Similarly, computer converts raw data to information by applying processes. Let's see some other examples. Suppose you want to do some calculation. So what input you will give? You will give the number and you will tell the computer what action you want to perform. So here in this example, you're giving the input 4, 2 and the action is addition. Now what will happen? This input will go to the CPU and the CPU will understand, okay, I have to perform addition. So it will perform addition and it will display the output to you 6. That would be the output. 4 plus 2 equals to 6. Here is another example. Now you're typing a letter in Word and you want to send a physical form of it to somebody. So what you'll do, you have typed your letter. Now you'll tell the CPU print and CPU will process that information and use the printer to give you output as your printout. Got it? Okay. Definitions. Raw data. It is the basic data available with less or no meaning for the user in its current form. ऐसी चीज जो आपके पास है तो पर आपको पता ही नहीं है कि आपको यूज क्या करना है, उसका क्या मीनिंग है. Information. It is the meaningful data generated for the user by applying process. अब सोचो आपके पास आपकी क्लास का डेटा है, this is this, you have all the data, but you don't know what to do. But when you apply a process, it becomes an information box. Okay, आपको पता है this student, his name is XYZ, he lives in Rewari, his father name is this, and that complete thing can be used, and that is called information. Input. The raw data given to the computer using any input device such as keyboard, mouse, scanner, etc. is called input. Process. When the raw data is manipulated to generate meaningful information by performing certain sets of calculations by any processing device like CPU, it's called process. So basically जब आप अपने रॉ डेटा को एक जगह कलेक्ट करते हैं, उस पे कुछ फॉर्मूलाज अप्लाई करते हैं और उससे एक मीनिंगफुल इंफॉर्मेशन जनरेट करते हैं, तो दैट होल थिंग इज कॉल्ड प्रोसेस. Output. This is the meaningful process data, or we can say information, that is generated for the user and shown on any output device like monitor, printer, etc. IPO cycle. What is IPO cycle? So IPO cycle is the flow of information or data from input device to processing unit and then from processing unit to output device. That is IPO cycle. Now here is one more thing I would like to add. The three terms input, process, output, they are interrelated. Sometimes the output of one process becomes input for any other process. Let's move on to our next topic, generations of computers. The term generations, it denotes improvement in any product. Generation of computer means improvement in computer technology. आप अपने घर में देखिए, ये आपके ग्रैंडफादर हैं, फादर हैं और आप हो. That is also called generation. From grandfather to father and from father to you. That is also generation. Similarly, computer में भी generation होती है. So let's see what they are. There are 5 generations categorized based on technology development and its effect in the way of operation of the computer. Do you know in last 50 years there has been rapid growth in computer technology. So let's see what they are. First generation from 1940 to 1956. That's the era when actually a computer was developed. What is a computer? Computer is an automatic calculating device. So let's see what the features were. Look at this first computer. Look at the size. It's so huge. Technology. The technology which was used in those computers, in first generation computer, are vacuum tubes. The size was huge. They actually occupied almost the entire room. Those computers understood only machine language. Do you know what is machine language? 0 and 1, binary language. That's what computer understands. And it was very difficult for people to give commands to the computer because they have to follow a specific order of machine language without even understanding that. Speed. It was fastest at that time. The calculations were done within milliseconds. It required high voltage electricity. Obviously it would, because look at the size. It was so huge. It generated a lot of heat. That means it also required air conditioning. It was very expensive. The examples of first generation computers are UNIVAC and ENIAC. Fun fact, UNIVAC was the first commercial computer delivered to US Census Bureau in 1951. Second generation. Second generation was from 1956 to 1963. Now look at this computer. It looks smaller than the first generation computer, isn't it? Let's see the features. Technology. Now, instead of vacuum tubes, the second generation computers were using transistors. The transistor made its size smaller than the first generation computer. This computer used assembly language. What was assembly language? Those were some codes which actually the man could understand. So, it obviously needed an operating system to convert those assembly language to machine language. So this is where the operating system came into picture in second generation. The speed was faster. The calculations were done in microseconds. It also generated heat and hence air conditioners were required. It was moderately expensive, but still it was not for the pockets of common man. Examples were IBM 1401, PDP-1, Atlas, etc. Here's a fun fact. The first computers of second generation were delivered to atomic energy industry. Now look at the usage. The first generation computer as well as the second generation computer. They were used commercially. They were not for simple home. Third generation from 1964 to 1971. Look at this computer. It looks much smaller. Technology. The technology which was used in these computers were integrated circuits, which are also called semiconductor chips. The size was much smaller, as you can see. Language. These computers used high-level language. Fortran, COBOL, BASIC. These are just the programming languages which were developed then and was used in these computers. The speed was much faster. The calculations were done in nanoseconds. It is still required air conditioner in some cases, but it was quite affordable for common man. Examples: IBM 360, PDP 3300, ICL 1900, Honeywell 6000, Apple One, etc. Fourth generation from 1972 to 2010. Look at this. Isn't this something that we are using now? It's similar. The technology which was used in this fourth generation computers were VLSI and microprocessors. VLSI is very large scale integrated circuits. Size is much smaller. Language, this computer used high level language, C, C++, etc. Now again, when we are talking about language, these languages are something that are used to give command to the computer. So don't worry that word mein to we are typing in English. No, that is a different thing. These languages were exactly by which the commands are given to the computer. Speed, it is much faster. It is much affordable. And you know what happened in fourth generation time? The internet was introduced. Internet, as we all know, that is one thing which by using which a person can connect to anybody in the world. Examples: IBM 370, Apple Mac, HP 9000, etc. Fifth generation computers, present and beyond. Look at all those smart devices. These are what the fifth generation computers are. Technology, ULSI and microprocessor. ULSI is ultra large scale integrated circuits. Size, the size is much smaller. It can fit inside your palm, sorry. Language, high level language, C++, Java, Python, etc. Those are the coding languages used in these computers. Speed, these are the fastest available device. They are very much affordable. Now you can see a computer anywhere you want. You can see those in your home, in your school, in hospitals, railway stations. Artificial intelligence is introduced. What is artificial intelligence? That is enabling the device to think for itself, to understand things. Example, Our present computers and smart devices, robots. These are some examples
Fun
of
fact,
fifth
the
generation
scientists
computers.
are working on developing machines with genuine IQ, which means the machine would have ability to reason logically and with real knowledge of the world. मतलब machines जो हैं वो real knowledge of world के जो real knowledge को use करके logically decision लेने में enable होंगी.
Here are the terminologies that we have used. Vacuum tubes. That's the picture of vacuum tubes. These were used in first generation computers. Transistors. That's a transistor. These were used in second generation computers. Integrated circuits. That is integrated circuit. These were used in third generation computers. Microprocessors. These microprocessors are being used in all the computers now. Very large scale integrated circuits. Look at that. That's VLSI. Ultra large scale integrated circuits. That is ULSI. Now, what is the difference between ULSI and VLSI? That's just basically the configuration of how it is made. Artificial intelligence. That's just a picture. Artificial intelligence is basically integrating intelligence in the devices, making them smart. हम अपनी devices को smart बना रहे हैं. आपके पास बहुत सारे examples हैं. आपके smartphone जिसमें आपके पास Siri है, Google Voice है, again आपके पास Amazon Play है, जो ऐसे devices which are smart. Now let's see all the information together. Look at here. Here is a list of generation, the period in which they were, devices which were used, features, drawbacks, and example. Let's go through them one by one. First generation computer from 1940 to 1956. They were using vacuum tubes. They had fast calculation time, that's milliseconds, and they used machine language. They were unreliable, huge in size, very expensive. They generated a lot of heat, they consumed a lot of electricity, and they required very high maintenance. Examples are ENIAC and UNIVAC. Second generation computers from 1956 to 1963. They used transistors. They had faster calculation time, that's microseconds. They were more reliable, smaller in size, and they were using assembly language. So that's when the operating system was introduced. They were still expensive, they still required air conditioner, and they still needed high maintenance. For example, IBM 1401 Atlas PDP-1. Third generation from 1964 to 1971. They were using integrated circuits. They had faster calculation, they were more reliable, smaller in size, lesser maintenance required, and they were using high level language. Drawbacks, they were still costly, they still required air conditioner, and a highly sophisticated technological environment was required for production of those integrated circuits at mass level. Example, IBM 360, Apple 1. Fourth generation, from 1971 to 2010, they used VLSI and microprocessors. They are faster than previous generations, smaller in size, portable, reliable. They were using high level language, and internet was introduced. They also need highly sophisticated technology for production of microprocessor and VLSI at mass level. Examples: IBM PC, Apple Mac, HP 9000, etc. Fifth generation, present and beyond, ULSI and microprocessors. They are very fast, highly reliable, very powerful, very small in size. But again, the only drawback they have is they need highly sophisticated technology for production of microprocessor and ULSI at mass level. Examples? You know them: smart devices and robots. So, I hope you all enjoyed the session. Let's revise it once more. Input, process, output. These three terminologies denote the flow of information from input to process, process to output. Generation means development or improvement in any product. The first generation computers used vacuum tubes and machine language. The second generation computers used transistors and assembly language. The third generation computers used integrated circuits, which made the size of the computer smaller. The fourth generation computers used microprocessor chips. The fifth generation computers are based on artificial intelligence. So hope you all had fun and liked the chapter. Try and go through the exercises of the chapter PDF that you have already received. If you have any doubts, contact me. Till then, stay safe, stay home. Thank you.